I am so shocked by how well the Garmin worked. It's covered in water and there's no issues. Look at that. Welcome back to my cycling channel. You guys love my last video so much where I compared the K2 against the Wahoo Element Roam. So I'm back today with the Garmin Edge 830 versus the K2. And guys, this is gonna be an in-depth video. I'm gonna try and cover every single feature with these devices and show you them side by side. So there's gonna be a table of contents in the description, timestamps to go and jump to the section that you're interested in, because I think this video is gonna be at least 30 minutes. Also, just like the last video, I'm gonna give away the Edge 830, more information on that at the end of the video. Definitely love giving away this stuff, makes me feel great. Now, let's go over everything I'm gonna be covering in this video. It's a long list. Price, unboxing, water test. I'm gonna drop, I'm gonna spray, and I'm gonna show you how these screens work with water on them. Initial setup, downloading maps, claimed battery life. How does the Garmin Varia radar work with these units? The data pages, what the unit looks and feels like, the mounts, phone notifications, how they sync with apps, everything to do with the apps. Other Garmin features like the fitness alerts, eat and drink alert, stuff like that. Trainer control, what it looks like out on the bike, Di2 button control, creating maps, importing maps, routing, rerouting, Climb Pro, workouts, Strava Live Segments, and how you finish a ride and upload your ride to Strava and your respected websites. Also, really important guys, I paid full price for both of these units. I ordered this one off of Amazon and I got this one directly from Hammerhead. They're both $400 US dollars. And yeah, so this is a pretty even comparison. Let's unbox these, let's get started. I'm really excited. So that box slides out and this one just pops open like so. On the Garmin side, it just has this sleeve, we'll take that out. Mount, extra little mounts, tether, Allen keys, cord, manuals. So with the K2, has these little manuals that go in this sleeve, and then a little drawer. Hammerhead mount, I love this mount. Guys, we're gonna talk about the mount in a bit. It has USB port covers, the Garmin mount adapter, an Allen key, nice braided cord, and a tether. So right away, in terms of the boxes, the box on the Garmin is very simple. I really like the design on the K2 with the drawer, it's innovative. This, you can barely fit this stuff in there. It matters to anyone, but you can see like, just kind of silly. But I mean, at the end of the day, they come with the same stuff. The cord in the K2 is a lot nicer compared to the Garmin. It's a braided cord. It has a much bigger tether, but it comes with these extra mounts. Then you use these rubber bands mounted on your bike. I'm gonna use those actually to mount it on my bike. So here are the two tethers compared. I actually like the Garmin tether a lot better. It's a lot smaller, as you can see. Also, what Garmin does too is they put these little rubber mounts in, so you can put the rubber mount in the mount so it will fit on your TT bars, which is pretty good. All right, so that's pretty much everything in the box here, guys. Now, let's take a look at the mounts real quick. Here's the K2 mount. Oh, I absolutely love that. I love the way that clicks in. And let's take a look at it beside the Garmin. So there's the Garmin mount. Now, when this Garmin mount's first out of the box, it's great. It's nice and tight, but still not anywhere as tight as the K2. But I've had a Garmin for at least 5-6 years. Beginning my cycling career, I always had a Garmin. These tabs have broken off on me at least 5 or 6 times. Garmin has warranted it, given me a refurbished unit for free, but I had an Edge 1030. The tabs broke on it twice. They gave me the second unit, and the second unit never seemed to work as good as the last one. It was slow, it was laggy, I had to reset it. So these tabs are definitely a problem, and the K2 fixes that. And what's really cool too about the K2 is they bring this little plate here, and you can slide the plate in, Now, once you put the plate in, it's actually pretty hard to take out. You got to push something up in there to pull it out because you obviously don't want it coming off. But you can see it works with the Garmin mount, no problem. This is the Garmin mount. That's the plate. So plate's really cool. When I got this device, I actually started playing with it before I did the video to get a feel for it. And I was really excited about this Edge. It really made me want to go out and buy a 1030 Plus. All right, let's start these two devices up and see what they look like. We got to peel the sticker off. Very nice. And they look great. I mean, this Edge 30 looks awesome. And look, I'm already getting phone notifications. And I haven't got any phone notifications on my K2. But guys, this is a problem with the K2. The phone notifications don't work on this thing. And I mean, we'll get into that later in the video just because I had one pop up here. But first, let's take a look at these two devices. Obviously, you get a much bigger screen on the K2. But the fit and finish on the Garmin is really, really nice. You know, the fit and finish on the K2 is really nice as well. But you can see here that, you know, obviously the Garmin's brand new. I've been using this K2 for a little while, so it's not really a fair comparison. When you first get the device, what you're going to need to do is sign in. You sign into your Hammerhead account here on the K2, and then you do the same thing with the Garmin, but you connect it to your phone. And what these two devices have is they both save all of your profiles and your sensors. So if you have a previous Garmin device, which I had, and I got this one, and I went into the Garmin IQ app, and we're going to talk about the apps in a minute, and everything's in there. So this is new with Garmin recently in the last year, I think, where they save all of your data profiles, and that's really cool. So once you sign in, you're gonna get met with this homepage, and what you do in the Hammerhead, it'll prompt you to download maps. And the Garmin, I think these are already pre-downloaded for North America, and you can go and get maps all over the world for the Garmin, and I believe this is included. If I'm wrong on that, let me know in the comments. But both these devices, you can download the maps for wherever you need for free, and this is something that Garmin's done recently. With the K2, you have to download the maps. With Garmin, the North American version, the maps are already going to come downloaded. So in the K2, you go to the settings and you go to offline maps, and then this is where you select what maps you want to download. Now, setting up the device, you can see here, here's what the data pages look like. This is the lap summary page, which I wish the K2 had. They said they're coming out with one within this year. I can't wait to see it. But I absolutely love this lap summary page. So these are what the data pages look like. What's great about the K2 is you actually have buttons that you can scroll through. You don't have buttons on the 830. You have to use the screen. And then we can go to the maps. We take a look at the maps. I'll show you the maps more detail while we're out on the bike, but you get an idea. So same thing, you can scroll in and out with the Garmin with these two buttons, the plus and minus. The only way you can scroll out on the K2 is with the buttons or a pinch zoom motion. And you can just see how when you pan that map, how much faster it is on the K2 versus the Garmin. It has to load. And the screen on the K2 is obviously a lot nicer, a lot bigger. Now let's say you want to go and edit these data pages. What Garmin has is a pull down menu, and you can go directly to your profile here, and then you can go to data screens, and then here are all of your screens. Screen 1, you can choose your layouts, 10, 1. I had 9 on this one. So you pick your layout, then you go in and you select each one that you want. So same thing, it's very similar on the K2. You go in, except they use what you call a card. So you select edit layout, and then they have the cards at the top here. You can go all the way up to 10 data fields, or you can go all the way down to 1. And then they also have map and elevation data fields, graphical data fields, where you can show your gearing. Garmin does the same thing. And then you can also have a zone of your power there and a zone of your heart rate where this bubble goes back and forth and shows you where your zone, you can have this for your power. Yeah, so Garmin has something similar, which is kind of cool. Now, one of the things that I love about the K2 that the Garmin doesn't have is when you start a ride on the K2, you can see here, you have a universal timer. At the top left corner of the screen, that timer is in a banner, and it doesn't matter what page you're on. which actually gives you another data field, because in the Garmin you have to have one. I really like that about the K2. Let's look at the drop-down menus real quick. In the K2, you only have this one menu, where the Garmin, you can control so many things. You can set a bike alarm. You can control almost everything in the Garmin from the top pull-down menu, where you have this first menu, your sensors. You can get into your settings, GPS, your profile, your battery. The second one gives you your controls. You want to add a course, take a course, set your bike alarm, control the indoor trainer, add a workout. Next page is your notifications. Next page is weather when you're connected. You can find segments, which is really cool. And then here is your trainer control, which is awesome. Look at that, resistance, power. That's amazing. We're gonna look at trainer in a bit. All right, let's talk about phone notifications real quick. Let's send myself a text message and see what happens. There we go. So they both came in. The Garmin you can respond to. Hit OK. See that? I mean, that's pretty cool. You can respond to emails on the Garmin. Where the K2, I'm actually testing a beta version. I can't show you more of it, but you can't respond on the K2, but you can on the Garmin. So that's what the phone notifications look like. All right, let's talk about the battery life real quick. I mean, the Garmin is gonna absolutely crush the K2 in battery life. I think this 830 is like 20 hours, and this K2 is like 14 hours without using any of the features. Also, the Garmin has a battery pack. You can buy a little piece and then add it to the mount, and then a battery pack goes on the back. And I think that'll give you like an insane amount of battery life. And yeah, so in terms of battery life, if you're doing really long rides, like over 10 hours, over 8 hours, the K2 is not an option for you. I know that you can charge it while you're riding with a USB cord, but it just doesn't make any sense, because then you got to carry the battery pack, etc. Let's take a look at the Garmin Connect. So with the Garmin Connect, it's an absolutely fantastic app. It gives you all the information on your rides. It gives you all the lap information, connects all of your apps. It will distribute all of your rides to whatever app you like. And it's a very robust, feature-rich app. And there's just tons of stuff, performance stats, health stats. The live tracking is done in here. It connects you to the iQ store. And we'll talk about that, side-loading apps on the K2 and then the iQ store for Garmin. We'll talk about that in a second. It's a very robust app. If we go to the app on the Karoo, which isn't even an app, I think it's like a desktop shortcut. But in terms, all you're really gonna get on this K2 app is your rides, your routes, your workouts. And one of the things I hate about the K2, these are the only accounts that it connects to. It will only connect to Strava, Ride with GPS, Training Peaks, Komoot, and Exert. Wow, look at that. It just brought in all my emails. And then obviously K2 didn't get any of those. The Edge 830 will upload all of my rides automatically to today's plan, where I have to do it manually with the K2, and I find that really frustrating. I've never sideloaded any apps on the K2. I don't know how to do it. It seems complicated to me. I think you need to do something special with the K2, or I don't know exactly what you need to do, but it's not something that really I want to play around with. And some of the apps don't really seem that too interesting to me, where it's like, I don't know. It's not something that I want to do. The iQ store has tons of apps, and there's one app in particular that I like. So there's Bontrager Light Control, and that gives you an idea of what it looks like. Now, what K2 is doing, they've actually opened an app store, but there's no apps. So on the bottom ribbon of the home page, you go to App Store, and I have Exert, but I don't really like Exert. It's not something that I use. In terms of the App Store versus the iQ store, you have the App Store here on the main ribbon, but like I said, only one app, and then the iQ store has been developed over years, so there's just tons of apps. I definitely think one of the pluses to the K2 is that it has buttons. To use these extra 2 buttons that the K2 has to be able to scroll through your pages or zoom in and out of the maps, I definitely think is a plus. And the reason why is we're gonna do a quick water test and see how the screen reacts once we get some water on it, because it's important, especially with the 830 where you have to use the touch screen. where with the K2, you can get away with not using the screen a lot, and they've designed it like that, where you can use most of all the functions with just using the buttons on the K2, where the 830, you have to use the screen. So let's hit it with some water and see what happens. All right, I got my trusty Camelback water bottle. We're gonna get a few drops on it first to stimulate some sweat, and then I'm just gonna spray it and see what happens. So as you can see there, I dropped a little water on it, and it actually changed the screen on the Garmin, but it didn't do anything on the K2. So let's see what happens with some water on it if we can use it. So right now it looks like the Garmin is working. I just put a couple of things of water on it, and it looks like I'm able to swipe through the pages, where the K2 I'm not. Now let's see if we can pull down the menu. Yep, no problem. No, K2 screen isn't working at all. Look at this. Can I start the ride? No, look at that. K2 is not working at all, and the Garmin seems like it's working fine. Okay, we're at the map. I can't even use the K2. Look at this. Yeah, K2 won't work. That's crazy. I didn't realize it was that bad. Look, K2 won't even work. Use my son's sweater. Okay, let's try this again. All right, let's go to the map page here, and I'm just gonna spray water all over this thing and then see what happens. Okay, here we go. I think the Garmin has a much better coating on the screen. The Garmin's doing a much better job of wicking away the water. So let's see what happens here. I don't think the K2 is gonna work at all, and I think the Garmin's gonna be fine. Okay, K2. No, look at that. That's not good. And the Garmin's working. Holy, look at this. But look at this. Look at this, Garmin. It doesn't even work. That is crazy. I am so shocked by how well the Garmin worked. It's covered in water and there's no issues. Look at that. It's covered in water and there's no issues. And it works fine. Huh. Top-down menu works. Very nice. Look at that. K2 doesn't work at all. Okay, guys, my conclusion from this test, the Garmin has zero issue with water. Obviously, it affects it slightly, but when you compare it to the K2, the Garmin has zero issue with water. I'm thoroughly impressed how this screen works with just having water all over it. And the K2, with having water on it, it makes it absolutely, like, it's not even functioning. But I'm thoroughly impressed with the Garmin, guys. Like, that is really, really impressive. I can't believe how much better the Garmin is than the K2 with the water on it. So there you go, guys. Obviously, you know, this isn't a crazy scientific test or anything. I just splashed it with water. But from what I see right now, the Garmin is a clear winner. Hands down, I'm confident to say clear winner when it comes to the water. As you can see, I'm getting all these notifications and they're not coming in on the K2. Like I said, that's a huge problem with the K2. It's just the phone notifications don't work. Now we're gonna talk about one of the biggest, this is the biggest problem with the K2 if you ask me, the features. Garmin has a plethora of features. If you're a mountain biker, you have to go with the Garmin if you ask me. I mean, I shouldn't be laughing, but like the K2 doesn't really have any features for mountain biking where the Garmin does. And the Garmin has these features is grit, flow, it has Trailforks preloaded on the IQ store, which is great because I think there's like thousands of miles preloaded right there on Trailforks. You have to do it through Garmin Connect. But another thing that Garmin has that K2 doesn't have is the Garmin will create a training plan for you, recommend a workout for you. So you find a workout. And it allow you to create workouts. Like, look at this, I can create a workout. And I mean, this is something that I would never do. I was playing around with it. And I mean, creating a workout in a Garmin is just, it's just something I would never do. I don't know who would do it, but because it seems like very difficult when you could just go on your phone But you can see there's all these features here. So other features that it has is training features. When you end a ride, it'll tell you how much recovery that you need. That's not on the K2. It'll estimate your FTP. That's not on the K2. It'll estimate your VO2 max. That's not on the K2. It'll give you eat and drink alerts. That's not on the K2. It has a bike alarm. That's not on the K2. And I mean the bike alarm, like, so you just pull down the top menu during your ride and you go over to the controls page and you click set bike alarm. If someone moves your bike, your phone will start going off. So, I mean, that's a cool feature. Now, part of the problem with Garmin, though, in my opinion, is they focus on some of these features that you'll never use, like creating a workout on your Garmin, when they could be focusing on a few other things. And we'll talk about those at the end, what I think Garmin could do better. Number one, the mount. I mean, get rid of this mount. But other than that, the Garmin is a solid device. And as I'm comparing these two, it's really making me want to switch back. I want to grab the 1030 and test it for a while against this. And I'm actually going to do that because I think it's important with doing these review videos. I'm going to grab the 1030 Plus, compare it against the K2. I know the device is $200 more, but I mean, we'll save that for another video. There's all these features that the Garmin has that the K2 doesn't have, and most of them are around mountain biking and training. Other features that the Garmin has that the K2 doesn't have is auto lap feature. You can go into your profile, auto features, auto pause, auto scroll, auto lap, and K2 doesn't have those things. All right, so let's talk about the Varia radar. Both of these devices use it. This seems like it works equally on both devices from my research. From my experience, I've used Varia on both devices. I haven't owned it, but I've tested it while I've been out with a buddy. It just let me hooks up to his and I can see how it works. So yeah, I mean, it's not something that I use, but I know a lot of people love it and I think it's a great device. But from my experience and from my research, it works very similar on both devices. But I think it would probably work better on the Garmin device because they're both Garmin products. As these devices upgrade as well, they're going to be more in sync with each other because they're the same brand, right? How do you import a map? So one of the things about the K2 that's absolutely awesome, I've never seen an app on a phone that was easier to make a route. So you go to routes, you go to add route, create route, and then you can just start clicking around and make a route like so. And then you go done, you go save, test 6, okay. We go to routes, test 6, already there, pretty cool. You can import routes, you go to routes, add route, import, and you just drop in the link, and then the same thing, it'll go there. From Garmin, you have to use Garmin Connect. Okay, so we go to training, courses. Here are all my courses. And I don't think you can make a course on the app. You have to do it on the desktop, and then it loads here, course creator. So you can actually create a course on the Garmin as well. You can actually search places. So there are the Strava routes. From my experience, bringing routes into the device has been much easier on the Karoo because they all just show up in your route section here. You hit routes and then they're all here. It doesn't matter if it's a Strava route, if it's a Komoot route, if it's Garmin route, they all just sync in one place in the Karoo, where they don't do that on the Garmin. They put the Garmin routes in the Garmin section, like the main area, and then to go get your Strava routes, you got to go into the IQ area. The other thing with the Garmin that I think is one of the best things about the Garmin, it reminds me of the Nokia of cycling computers. I feel like this thing I could do. Let me tell you a funny story. So I was doing a crit, and of course it was like this huge pothole. I hit it, the tabs broke off, and it was after that I started using the tether. The tabs broke off, and the Edge 1030 is on the ground. And every lap I see it. It got hit a bunch of times. I ended up pulling out of the race and grabbing it because it was messing with my head so much. But the device was destroyed, the screen was cracked, and I was still able to get the file off of it. And you could see every lap where I came around, it would reconnect to the sensor. So in terms of getting your file and this thing actually being like, a tank, I don't have the same confidence in the K2, where with the Garmin, I feel like no matter what happens, I'm gonna get the file off this thing. You know what I mean? Where The K2, no, I've lost files. You know, the thing died, battery dies at the end of the ride, and then I lost a 5-hour file. So, you know, definitely a plus to the Garmin. Now, if we want to look at trainer control, this is the last thing we'll look at before we go out on the bike. You do it from the workout, pull down menu, and you go right to the end, and there you go. Use your trainer from there. What's cool too on the Garmin is you can change the power, you can go resistance, grade, and then you can do erg mode, which is really cool. It's a bit more complicated on the K2. You got to go to this Exert app, and then you go to activity. You got to connect your sensor, and it's not saved for whatever reason. And then you go to trainer control. There's my kicker, go back, start the activity, and then there we go, erg mode. You can change it right there like that. And then you can change off, auto, resistance, slope, erg mode. The rest of the stuff we're gonna do out on the bike. Let's go do it. This has been really interesting. Let's get outside. All right, we're out here on the bike, and the first thing we need to do is connect the sensors. So I'll show you how to do that right now. On the Garmin, we pull down the menu and we click sensors, add sensor, search all. And there's my power and my heart rate. We're gonna hit add. No, there we go. My light's already added. Let's add Di2. There's my Di2. So all my sensors are connected. To do it on the K2, we click the main page, we click sensors, and I've already added them, but to add, you just hit down here, amp plus there, Bluetooth there, Di2. They're all added. Now, this is a great time to talk about the Di2 buttons. See, it's prompted me here to set the Di2 buttons up. You go there, and then you can select single press does previous page, press and hold does previous page. I'm gonna do press and hold, start and stop, and then single press is the switch pages, and then the left one, press and hold, I'm gonna do record lap. Now, you don't have that functionality with your Di2 on this. It doesn't, it just basically tells you your battery power, and that's about it. The Di2 buttons do work, the Hammerhead, but you single press to change page, you double press on the right one, stop and pause, and then the left one does record lap, but you can't configure it. It's there's no way to configure it on the K2. You can only configure it on the Garmin. Now, the next thing we're gonna do is add a route. So to add a route on the K2, it's actually really simple. You press the two outside buttons like so, and then you go add route. Let's do 3-hour Tucson. And then we're gonna do the same thing down here. We're gonna pull down the menu, find a course, 3-hour Tucson, ride. The Garmin gives you navigate to the beginning of the course. The K2 didn't offer that. So let's click it and see what happens. All right, let's go. All right, let's see how these two devices handle rerouting. I'm supposed to go right here, but let's go left and let's see what they do. So the K2 has given me this red line to take. It wants me to go all the way down there and do a U-turn to come back to get on this yellow line here, which is kind of stupid. So you can see the Garmin's doing a much better job of the rerouting. It wants me to do a U-turn immediately, where the K2 wants me to go all the way down there. Now, one thing I will say, the glare is definitely much worse on the Garmin. Definitely you can see it on the camera. In real life, it's not as bad. The Garmin screen actually looks a lot better in real life. To stop navigation on the Garmin, you hit the you pull the pull down menu down, you go over to controls, stop course, stop course. On the K2, you pull both outside buttons, remove course. All right, the segment popped up. It did not pop up on the K2. All right, this is one of the things that absolutely frustrates me about the K2. The segment that we're supposed to hit is not here. It's on my Garmin. You can see here as we're approaching, but it's not on my K2. I don't know where it is. It's called Get Your Crit On. All right, so this is the thing with the K2. I'm frustrated as hell, and I'm syncing it. I'm trying to sync it here, as you can see, and I start it, I unstart it, you know, and it's not there. But here, this is what it looks like on the Garmin. And I'm gonna bring in some other footage to show you what it looks like on the K2. But what's really great about the Garmin is during the segment, you can change who you're gonna chase here. Auto select, last, and you can go after these different people. During the segment, you can't do that on the K2. Also, it's its own page on the Garmin, which I really like. On the K2, it's this drawer that you pull up, and I find it irritating. So definitely the segments are better on the Garmin. You can also change these data fields on the Garmin. And let's take a look as we hit it here, how it shows whether you're up or behind. There we go. So let's look at how we control the segments. The only adjustments you can do with the segments on the K2 is you hold the bottom right button, you go out into settings, you hit Strava Live Segments, and then here are all your segments, and then you can select which time you want to chase by highlighting or dishighlighting them. You go to the home page, you go to training, you go to live segments, and this is where you control all of your leaderboard priority. So you can select it like this and then change whatever one you want and have them in the order that you like. And then you can do it on the global level for all of them. Turn on route guidance, auto effort select, delete them, and then you can also do it on the level of each one. There's definitely a lot more customization on the Strava segments for the Garmin. It's got my beautiful wife here with me. Let's take a look at how the actual routing looks. So to get the turn cues on the Garmin, you hit the top. And then what's really cool is you can scroll through these and then hit one and it'll take you to the turn on the map, which is really cool. So we back out of the turn cues, and then the Karoo turn cues, you just pull up, you can see them all. Zooming in and out, you hold the left or right button on the Garmin or on the K2. You can also unlock the map and pan and zoom like so. So what's also really cool about the K2, and a feature that I really like, is you can drop a pin during the route and then go like that, and then it says, okay, 5K to the pin that I dropped, back out, and then it brings me back to the original route. And let's see if the Garmin can do that. What I like about the Garmin is when you go into pan mode, it brings everything off the screen. So you have much more screen to use. Say we drop a pin, ride to that pin. Yeah, so see, it'll replace the current route. I don't want to do that. I really like how the K2 will put that on top and then bring you back into the original route. You can see here, one of the biggest features of the K2 is the screen. And I don't know exactly what they have on it, but there's zero glare. And that's one of the biggest problems with the Garmin, in my opinion, is the glare on the screen. Let's take a look at this. But you can see how much better that screen is. And the screen is so much more responsive on the K2. Like, look at that. Now we do the same thing. The screen on the K2 is so amazing. I wish they bumped up the size to 3.5, which is the same size as the 1030. All right, so we're gonna end these rides. And to do that, like so, end. Save. And so this is the finishing screen. This gives you the eat and drink reminder, so you can record it. And there you go, saving ride. The end screen on the K2 is actually really nice. You could look at the cadence, the power, the elevation, the speed. You can name the ride here before you upload it to Strava. So if I change the name here and I upload, easy. When I upload, it will go to Strava easy. There we go. Let's get inside and talk about these two devices. I'm going to tell you the things I really love and the things I really hate about each one. Let's do it. So what device do you like better, guys? Is it the K2 or the Edge? Let me tell you what I think. So I think with the K2, it's kind of like the Tesla of cars. This device has the potential to be amazing, and it has the potential to be better than the 1030, if you ask me. I've been testing this device over the last couple days, and guys, this is an awesome device. But we're going to do another video on that where we compare these two, the 1030 versus the Edge. I think the screen on the K2 is absolutely amazing. And like I said, I think the potential is amazing. But there are some things that just don't work consistently on the K2, like the phone notifications. You saw the issue with the live segment not syncing. There's a battery life issue. And then that creates this overall feeling like, hey, can I rely on this device? And that's a problem, because what the 830 does very well is it's completely reliable. It's got really good battery life. The sensors connect when it needs to, and you're always gonna know that this device works. But the screen is really crappy, and some of the features, you know, Garmin goes too far with some of these features. Like a bike alarm, yeah, cool. Is anyone ever gonna use that? Yeah, maybe a couple times, but definitely not regularly. The eat and drink alerts, yeah, it's cool, but are you gonna use it regularly? Probably not. You know, the same thing with a lot of these other features, like estimating your FTP, estimating your VO2 max, being able to create a workout on the device. Yeah, I don't need that. What I would like to see Garmin do is get a better screen. Make the maps faster. Make the live segments better. Like stuff like that I'd like to see Garmin do. So what I appreciate from Hammerhead is that they're trying to be better. They're trying to make things better. And you're gonna see updates over the next 6 months for Hammerhead that, you know, if they do what they're trying to do, they could be the best device. And that's why I bought a Hammerhead. That's why I have the K1 and the K2. And that's why every 2 weeks I look forward to their updates, because I believe that this could be the best device one day. Is it right now? That's tough. It's tough. Like, what's important to you, right? This doesn't have lap functions. They're coming out with it. It's supposed to be coming in the next month or two. But right now, we got lap summary page on the 1030. We got lap summary page on the 830. We got lap summary page, I think, on the 130. So, you know, no lap summary. They don't have last lap data field. So, you know, but the K2 has a killer screen. I love the buttons. I love how snappy it is. I love the mount. Guys, the mount is just so amazing on the Hammerhead. The quarter turn, garbage. You know, I know everyone's using it, and I know some people are going to say, hey, you can't call it garbage. It's the industry standard. You're right. But in my opinion, it's garbage compared to the K2 mount. So anyways, guys, this is a tough decision. But you can see, you know, what do you want? The tried, tested, true Edge 830 with all these little features? Or do you kind of want to buy into the future and hopefully, you know, you buy this device and in a year you got like something that's absolutely crazy? The device is good right now, but you're going to work through some bugs with the company. So I think that's kind of how I feel about both of these devices. Hammerhead as a company, I love those guys. I talk to them regularly, and I think it's an amazing company. I think they really want to help their clients. I think if you got a problem with your device, they're going to really help you out. Garmin, I don't know Garmin, right? But they're one of these big companies, and when a company gets as big as Garmin does, you know, they gotta impress shareholders. You can't call them up and say, hey, my device broke, can you help me out? They're going to send, you know, they did help me out, but I just don't know if they have the same, you know, level of like, hey, let's, you know, we're a cycling company. Hey, let's help these customers out, you know. But who knows? Who knows? It's hard to really make that comparison, right? And if coming from me, it would just be anecdotal. Like I said, I had the tabs broke. The tabs broke a bunch of times, and they fixed it like 3 or 4 times every time I got a new device. So, you know, I think one of the times they wanted to charge me like $100 or something, but they've replaced at least 3 devices. Hammerhead's done the same. I think I got 2 or 3 devices from Hammerhead because one broke, one cracked. So anyways, I think they're great companies. I really like what Hammerhead's doing. I think, final summary, if screen and maps are really important to you, go with the Hammerhead. And if you believe in the company, that it could be something special in the future, go with Hammerhead. If you want a tried, tested, and true device with long battery life that you don't got to worry about and is going to work, and you don't really want to go through it, you know, going through the updates and seeing, you know, what's going to happen with the device, go with the Garmin. Okay, guys, I can't believe I pushed this video like 40 minutes. 40 minutes talking about devices. You can tell I'm a nerd when it comes to this cycling stuff. And yeah, so hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Now, the most important part, guys, giveaway. You can win this thing, man. It's exciting. How do you win it? All you gotta do is click the link. I love giving this stuff away, and I don't want any bullshit like you gotta subscribe to give it away. I hope you subscribe. I really want you to subscribe, and I want to grow this channel with you. So please subscribe, but you don't have to subscribe to win the device. Just click the link in the description. It's a thank you from me to you. Thank you. Thank you for watching my videos. I fucking love you guys, and it's no bullshit. I fucking love you. I love being able to make these videos, and you watch them. It gives me some purpose in life. And it really, yeah, it makes me feel good. Choking up. It gives me purpose in life to make these videos and know that you guys are watching them, enjoying them. So thank you. Whoever wins it, happy for you. Click the link. Also, guys, I'm giving away a Wahoo Roam too. So that link will be in the description as well. And yeah, I am always gonna be giving away stuff. It makes me feel good. Okay guys, that's the end of the video. I won't shut up. That's what I realized about doing this friggin' YouTube channel. Guys, I could talk about nothing for fucking 2 days. All right, that's it. End of the video. I'll see you guys soon. Love you guys. Like it, comment. Bye.